Hi, my name is Douglas Peacock, and I'd like to share with you a technique that I use with my clients for when they go into overwhelm or when they have a problem come up that seems bigger than them, and they get and they lose their balance and they don't know what to do. They're struggling on how to deal with whatever the problem is, and what happens is you go into your fears, and you may have experienced this where you go into your fears and the problem just seems so big and you don't know how to deal with it, or you don't know what to do, and so you can feel like you're stuck, like you're lost your way, that there's no solutions, and basically what you're doing is you're making yourself a little mini you, and you're making the problem huge. Now, all that problem is when you're making it huge is it's just going into your fears. It's just fears, because no problem's bigger than us. The problem's just a situation that we need to unravel. And once we raise our frequency to be able to see over it and through it, we're able to unravel it quite easily. Yet when we're standing at the base of it and it first comes on to us, it can send us into shock waves, and we can go into all our old habitual thinking and our old way of being, and think that we don't know our way around it, and so we make ourselves small, and we infatuate the problem to being really big, and we shame and guilt ourselves to being really small. So the first thing that we need to do to overcome this is we've got to get ourselves back into balance. So one of the things that I like to do is for you to be able to proportion the problem back into that it's okay, is we need to face it and see it in all its ugliness, so that we can see what the worst possible scenario is. Because if you're finding it's holding you stuck and you're just being blinded by it, and it's like you can't move, then your fears of what you're thinking in your mind are paralyzing you to take steps forward. So the thing is, let's be honest with it. Let's go ahead, see this big gnarly thing that we have here, and you're going to have painted a picture of whatever it is, and it's going to seem so big and it'll be so dense, and you can't get around it, you can't get over it, you can't go through it, and it just seems so heavy. So what we do and what happens in our mind is we start making assumptions of what we think it's going to be like. So let's go ahead and let's face our fears. And this technique that I do get you to do here is to actually get you to go and make it the worst possible thing you can from your fears. Because once you actually dump it all out and get the fears there for what they are, and you actually allow it to see what it is, it's got no more control over you. It loses its power over you because you've already imagined what it was going to be like. Remember, the unconscious mind can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. So let's go ahead here now, and let's plonk this big problem, whatever it is, on your lap. Just allow it to sit there and feel the weight of it and the density of it. And allow it to just be there in all its ugliness, and feel the weight and the slime and the, gross, this thing's blooming horrible, it hurts, it's sharp, it's digging in, and it's like it's so big, it's just over the top of you, and you go, oh God, what am I going to do? So just to really allow yourself to feel it. What I want you to do is to actually really feel the weight of it, and feel the texture of it, and really get into it. Allow your imagination to get into the real biggest fears of what this is like, and how it's strangling you maybe, or it's cutting out your power of you being able to do anything, it's stopping you moving forward. And really allow yourself to climb into it, and give yourself permission to go wild here, and actually allow yourself to go and make it as nasty as what you can, and see the worst possible situation here for you. And I don't know what the problem is for you, but let's say it's let's say it's a money problem, and let's see yourself here, and you've got this money problem, and you just can't get over it. It's just like, oh God, I can't pay my bills, or this is going to happen, I'm going to lose the house and all that. So what I want you to do here is I want you to go and imagine the worst. Let's play a game here for a bit. Let's imagine the worst. Have this big thing sitting on you. Let's imagine the worst. Now imagine that, yep, you can't pay the bills, you lose your house, your partner leaves you, your kids are taken away from you. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, really pee you off. You lose your kids, you lose everything. Come on, we're going to get into this. Remember, we're imagining. Your unconscious mind can't tell the difference. So climb right in here with me. And just imagine you're losing everything, and then you got suitcases, that's all you got left, and you're being pushed out. And then just dump it on and just feel how horrible it feels. And see how nobody wants to know you. No one wants to have anything to do with you. It's like you're almost like a leper, and they're going, get away from me. You're horrible. And you really climb in, because hey, you may be saying this to yourself in your head anyway. So let's go ahead and get right in there and actually climb in and get real with it and really go into it, and just keep allowing yourself to make it as nasty and as horrible. See yourself there on the side of the road and cars going past, nobody wants to help you, you're hungry, you haven't eaten for days, and all you've got is a little piece of cardboard, and you're sleeping under a bridge, and all you got is a little bag, and then someone comes along and steals your bag from you, so you haven't got that, and then other people come along and beat you up, and basically you're just this worthless, hopeless being that you believe you're hopeless. And that's how it is. And I want you to really put it in there. I want you to really imagine what it feels like. I know when I did this the first time, it was horrible. It was like, oh no, and I just dumped it on all over the top, and it's going, oh God, this is horrible, I can't take it anymore, I can't take it anymore. When you're getting to that stage, imagine a big tip truck coming along and dumping a big pile of crap on top of it, so it even gets heavier, and it's getting darker and dingier, and then another truck dumps it on so you can take it no more. It's like you're breaking, you can't handle it anymore, because that's what this problem feels like. It just gets down, and it's pushing you down, and then you go, good. When it's like, yeah, that's it there, when it's like you can't take any more, I want you to bring your attention to the center of your chest. And as you bring your attention to the center of your chest, I want you to look inside. Now, if you look inside, you'll see way deep down inside of you this light. Everyone's got it there. You just might have to look a bit harder if you can't see it. Go deeper. Yeah, it may only be the size of a pinhead to you, but allow yourself to go down to where that light is. That's it. Allow yourself to go down to where that light is. And where you see that light there, what I want you to notice is one thing. Is notice that none of this dark weight of this fear of what you've made in your mind, of how bad it is actually touching the light. Because have you ever noticed a candle flame, when it's in a dark room, the darkness doesn't touch the flame? It's impossible. The same here with this. You are the light. You are this light deep down inside here. But you've just forgotten who you were. You were making yourself a mini you. The problem really big, and there's little mini old you. So what we do here is we bring our attention to the light in our chest. And as we bring our attention to the light in the chest, you may begin to notice that it begins to actually get a little brighter. And it begins to start burning some of this off. Now as it burns some of this off, all of a sudden you start creating space. Doesn't mean that all the darkness is gone. But the light, as it begins to build, it starts building, opening up for a place of clarity. And then you're going to get in your mind, you're going to see that losing the house isn't really what's going to happen, or I'm not going to lose the kids, or I'm not going to lose my partner, it's just me getting carried away, they're just fears, and none of it's real. And they all just burn off really easily. Those truckloads of stuff, that just burns off really easily because it's no longer true. And what happens is, as you allow this to build up inside of yourself, and you actually begin to remember who you are, and you feel the light of who you are, you start to feel space inside of you. And one of the things that naturally happens with this is your mind begins to clear. And as it begins to clear, you can then now look at that overwhelming problem, or whatever the problem is, and then you can ask a new question. Maybe, what do I need to do? Or who do I need to speak to? Or where can I go to get some advice on how to deal with this? And in doing that, you open up the creative, the intuitive faculty, which will then allow yourself to hear the message on what you need to do for the next step forward. And all you need to do there, and is just sit here as long as you need in the light, and allow yourself to just keep focusing on the light. Because what you're doing by focusing on the light, what you're doing is you're bringing your awareness into the darkness. Now if you go into a dark room, you turn the light on, where does the darkness go? It leaves. Same here with you. You turn the light on in here, and the darkness leaves. Then you're able to see the problem fully for what it really is, and then you're able to unpack it, just like you've got a present, you've got a little gift here, and you're able to unwrap it so that you can see how you need to put it together to make the thing work or make it move away. It's what happens is, as you become present there with it, you're able to deal with whatever comes up for you. So use this practice as a way of getting yourself back into a place of balance, because the first part of it is, you face your fear, because unless you've, when you've got these fears there, what happens is we hold ourselves prisoner to them. But by doing this process, you actually go in and you face the fear. Then you just come back out, and then you come back to the light of who you are. Then you realise that, well, I've already experienced what it's going to be like to lose everything, so that doesn't scare me anymore. And then you can then take steps forward. So use the practice. You may need to do it a couple of times, but one of the things that I've found in my own life by doing this, it brings me into a place of balance. I then get clarity on what I need to do to get the job done. And all my clients, when they do this, they then see options and steps on being able to take charge of their own life. So hey, I know this will help. If you use it properly, it really does open up your life. My name's Douglas Peacock. Check out my website and our Facebook group, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.